Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. In this video I will be unbagging this Space Marine Legion Deimos pattern Vindicator. One of these will set you back £51. That's a huge amount of money considering you get a normal Vindicator for 30, probably 24 with your discount or something. So this is pretty much double. You could get two normal plastic Vindicators for this, but you can, that is just the truth. But likewise they sell Deimos pattern rhinos for 90 odd pounds when you can get three for probably 30 quid. You could probably get 9 for the same price as 3. But that's what happens with Forge World. If you want a specific model, be prepared to forgo your 25% and also pay a large amount extra too. That's just the way it is. So this is your Legion Vindicator. I'm all Vindicated out now. This is my 4th one and I only need 4 in the chapter. Well, I only really need 2 in the chapter, but I've now got 4, and that's sort of my siege weaponry, my close combat siege weaponry is pretty much all kitted out. I've just got a few more long range sort of siege weaponry things to get, some tank hunter things, then build up my air force, and then my vehicle side of things is sort of almost complete. So what do you get? Well, you get your instructions, normal sort of A4 printed piece of paper. This one's double-sided, not in colour though, and that is what it's going to look like. It basically looks like a baby Typhon without the side sponsons. I think it's really cute. I like the Vindicator, the plastic one at the moment with the huge shield. I've got a couple of them, but I just really like this one just because it looks like a baby Typhon. It's really cute. And these are all the Forge World sort of parts. What do you get? You get the sprues for a rhino, which have been around for a decade. 10 years now these have been around, or probably even more. So these you've seen many times before. Great sprue though, great multi-purpose sprue that you can use for all the predators and things. Then this is the bag that contains the resin parts for the Vindicator. Now this was checked by RR, like my 600RR, what a legend. All the models I've got where he's checked have been right on the money. So I've got every confidence that there will be a cannon in here. This is sort of like the top roof of the tank, or the top armour. It's a bit slimy. Always when you're working with resin, put it in soak overnight or for 4 or 5 hours in some fairy liquid. Other washing up liquid is available. And then afterwards give it a good rinse and a brush with an old toothbrush. Let it dry, give it a good dry with a towel or whatever, and then you're good to go. But this is it. You can already see that is a bit warped, a bit bent. No problem. Dip it in some really hot water or cooled boiling water, then take it out and then just bend it slightly. Or even that could be done with a hairdryer because it's quite thin. You could use the hairdryer for just about 20-30 seconds, and then just once you built the rhino side of things, you could just gently push it down onto the tank so that it cools and sets in the desired position. I've said this in my other videos where I've done tracks, like the Fellblade video, and I disclose quite a few good tips and tricks in that one, so probably worth you watching that. Anyway, that's the top, that's the roof of the tank. Then we've got the side armour. I can already see there's a huge sort of splurge of resin that runs all along there. That's pretty disappointing, but with a scraping tool that should be no problem just to get off, and it won't really affect the tank that much. Again, this is slightly warped just at the edge there, so again, hot water and you're good to go. I like the detail on it though, really nice. This is the same but just the opposite. I'm hoping. You got to check, one left, one right. That looks like one left, one right. So that would go like so. And then we've got some exhausts, quite tall exhausts really. So there's 4 of them. Yes, here's the bad boy itself. This demolisher cannon. Never underestimate this, although it's 24-inch range. So never underestimate the power of one of these. Strength 10, excellent sort of area denial. And the tank itself is quite nicely armoured too. And then these final pieces here. You got this, which is sort of like part of the roof of the tank, and you've got a combi bolter. Brilliant, definitely going to put that on there. And you get this, which seems to have broken off. This is again is for the top roof, and you've got a hatch there. And then you've got this blast shield, really nice. And then you've got this sort of short dozer blade kind of thing that I think really suits it without a big siege shield or anything like that. So that's sort of my unboxing and things of this tank. Join me in part 2 where you'll see the finished product. I'll look forward to seeing you in a moment. And welcome to part 2. Here is the finished Space Marine Legion Deimos pattern Vindicator. As I mentioned before, it's £51. Is it really worth the extra £16 over the standard one? The model itself, all those kind of politics aside, absolutely lovely. Really easy kit to build, an absolute joy. I definitely will be getting the other 30k tanks now. This little tank has sort of made my mind up with them all. I really like it. You do get a lot of resin for your money. I mean, like I said before, although from the retail price of the standard plastic Vindicator, it's 16 quid. For 16 quid, you're getting the 2 completely different side armour plates. You're getting the 4 exhausts. You're getting these 2 little bits. You're getting the hatch. You're getting that pipe. You're getting the pintle mounted combi bolter. You're getting this huge top part of the hull. Mine was bent upon opening, you've probably seen that. Again, hairdryer, 10-20 seconds, place it over the model, and then as it cools, it'll set into your desired shape. That's a pro tip there, I'd say. You also get the demolisher cannon and this shield for it, and you get the dozer blade. I'm a bit of a fan of these dozer blades. I didn't like the original dozer blades on the old Predator tanks, things like that first came out in sort of metal and plastic, but I like these. They're pretty decent. As always, I've got it so that the rear hatch sort of opens. I really like the model. It's so cute, and when I mean cute, I mean I'm comparing it to this Big Bertha. She is, oh, she's just so lovely. I mean, look at the size of her compared to this little dinky Vindicator. It sort of like shows you just the size difference with this big old siege tank, which I think in the new rules, in the new Crusade book that came out, which I've probably got a review out already somewhere on my channel, check that out. I think they actually bumped up the points cost for the Typhon because it's just so awesome. I mean, obviously with the Typhon you're getting these sponsons. It can rotate and all the rest of it, these las cannons, and you're getting obviously the much better armour, and you're getting the cannon that's a demolisher cannon, beefed up, 48-inch range, ignores cover. I think it's the same strength. Yeah, it's just the big daddy for sort of mobile siege warfare. It's a super heavy tank, so that means it can move and just still fire the cannon at the 24-inch range. So that's just like a little sort of size comparison. I got the Deimos pattern because I wanted it to sort of reflect the Typhon in terms of like a little sort of cuter version of it. I mean, look at the size of that. Just yeah, I just thought I'd do that and just show you the different sizes between them. Then what I thought I'd do is just show you the differences between the plastic one that you can get from Games Workshop. This one obviously has this massive lovely dozer blade, same sort of size cannon with a lot more holes around there. The demolisher cannon itself, you can't aim it as high as Forge World one, and the hull armour is actually higher, a fair bit higher because of all this extra parts. But if it doesn't have your smoke launchers, it doesn't have the radar, doesn't have this extra like ammunition loader and anything like that, it doesn't have these lovely looking vents, doesn't have the steps going up and this metal panel here, or this pintle mounted storm bolter, or the targeting sort of auspex. I mean, definitely the plastic one has more presence. That big dozer blade sort of like raises the size, and there's a lot more other things going on, so it sort of raises the profile of the Vindicator, even though they're the same sort of width. So you look at them there, and just straight away it just looks like the plastic one is bigger. In reality, they're the same width. I thought that would be a good comparison to in-depth review and just comparison between the Typhon, the Big Bertha, and the plastic Vindicator that you can get too. So real question obviously is this worth it? Well, if you've got a 30k army, you might be quite a specialist. You might have sort of like a force in mind already, you know, for gameplay, things like that. Therefore, this might not be included in your game. You might go for something like a Sikaran or a Spartan or something like that that's a bit more survivable. But don't ignore the 24-inch large strength 10 blast and the cheap points, really. It still packs a little punch, especially if you've got them in 3, and I think it really does complement this sort of old Deimos pattern Space Marine vehicles with the exhausts and a sort of like boxy look to it. I do think it's worth the money because you are getting quite a fair bit of resin there, but I just would have liked to seen some more like little extras in terms of like radar dishes and some iconography, things like that. But there we go. It's also worth mentioning that they do another variant of this Deimos Vindicator that has the laser destroyer on there. Essentially, it's got a laser destroyer array, which is an Ordnance 1 twin-linked las cannon. If you go in for like the siege route, I'd always just pick the Typhon. Yeah, it's a lot of points, and yeah, it's a lot more money obviously, but you just can't ignore that. Ignores cover saves, and you can't ignore the 48-inch range of the big cannon and its armour and its tank shock ability. It's just beast, a real beast. But I like this tank, and I like it, you know, how sort of like cute it looks compared to it. It's actually my 4th Vindicator now, and with the Typhon, that's my close sort of siege tank unit finished of my chapter. 4 Vindicators, you normally only get 2 in a chapter anyway. There's no need for me to get a second Typhon or anything like that. One's more than enough. Anyway, that's the end of my unboxing and review. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.